Ladies and gentlemen, heroes, villains, critics, and moviegoers the world over, welcome to another episode of B Review. I am your host Tom today, and I'm coming at you not with a retro review, because we've had a lot of those recently, and there has been plenty of great movies that have come out. No, I'm coming at you today with a review of Fast 9, F9 if you will. I had the privilege of watching this movie recently, and I know this is a little bit belated, but I watched it, and I wanted to go over some of my thoughts. Because, and I will first start off by saying that I will do my best to be unbiased. I've never been a very big fan of this franchise as a whole, but we'll dive more into that. But let's start off, as always, and talk about some of the good from this movie. For starters, this movie was directed by Justin Lin and stars none other than Vin Diesel, who we've all come to know and love, as well as Michelle Rodriguez, Jordan Brewster, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Charlize Theron, John Cena, so many people. It's another installment, the newest installment of the franchise, and So let me say this. In the franchise, up until this point, the only one that I have liked has been the first one. I actually think that's a great movie. I think it's well done, well written. Everything about it is a good movie. I saw the second one, didn't really care much for it. I didn't see the third one, but then I've seen the rest of them, except Hobbs and Shaw. I haven't seen that one yet. And I haven't, like, I'm not a big car person. So it's like, fancy cars are really about street racing, whatever. Like, I'm just like, that's really not who I am. It doesn't really bother me. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. If that's your thing, then this is going to be up your alley, and it probably always has been. But it's never really been like a big deal to me. So it's not been something that's really caught my interest as much as something as, say, like a superhero movie or a sci-fi or a horror. But that being said, this movie, I actually enjoyed. You know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. I think this movie, out of all the ones that I've seen, like, really was the most self-aware. It definitely took things to a whole new level of a very meta level, actually. To the point of being on the nose, but also still fitting in the narrative. And I appreciated that because, again, I'm not a car person, and so when I saw all these other movies, they just drove me nuts, like, I even made memes, about who needs physics when you have family, right? It's been a franchise that has really just not been good for me. But this one I actually really enjoyed as just like a silly, self-aware franchise. Is it ridiculous? Yes. Is it over the top? Yes. Is it good writing, good storytelling? No. Are there good character building moments though? Yes, absolutely. There are great character building moments. And the action, as over the top and ridiculous as it is, it finally hit the point where it was so bad that it was good, and because it was self-aware, I really appreciated it. So yes, I did actually enjoy this movie. So those are some of the good things about this movie. I think it's well acted. In fact, I think that Jordan Brewster and Michelle Rodriguez, Mia and Letty, I think they played really well off of each other. I really liked that. Yeah, so I think there was a lot of really good. I do like Han as a character. I think he's, or at least I like the actor, Sung Kang. I think he always has a very good gravitas to him. He brings a great presence. There was a lot that I really enjoyed about this movie. But let's kind of talk about for a moment some of the bad, because it's not a perfect movie, and as I said before, it's not really a good movie, but it's an enjoyable movie. It is a very fun movie, and it's a movie that is fitting for fans. But let's dive into this a little bit here, and I'm going to do my best to not get into any spoilers, or at least nothing that wasn't in the trailers. So as far as the bad of this movie, and I already mentioned how laws of physics don't apply when you have family involved, and it is very meta, and I did appreciate that, but the way that they chose to bring Han back, it just felt cheap, scripted, just and after seeing that, like it just they're gonna find some way to bring Gal Gadot back, right? Like, I hope they don't, but like I don't know, it was just everything about the storytelling in this franchise is just cheap and convenient. It's based on luck and not skill, not talent, not any special ability, not a hero's journey, not a call to action. There's no character arcs for the survival of these characters. It all just comes down to dumb luck. Now, for a silly throwaway movie, that's fine, but that's not good storytelling. That's not good narrative. And so there's a lot of that stuff that just like, and that's why I've had just a very big problem with, well, that's one of the reasons why I've had a big problem with this franchise from the get-go. The narrative choices have just been poor. After the first one, and again, I actually think the first one's a great cinematic movie. Great storytelling, everything about it. But yeah, this one was rough, as they all are. But at least it was self-aware, so I have to give it credit for that. But so that's some of the bad about this movie. Let's talk for a moment then about the ugly. This movie is just it's ridiculous. And while even though I haven't really been a fan of the franchise, I have grown to appreciate the characters. I think that they're fun one-note parodies of stereotypes that you would think of. The ugly really is just the writing. It's just piss poor writing. It's so sloppy. There's nothing really about it. John Cena, as much as I actually enjoy John Cena. I think he's good. I don't know, the family dynamic that they went with between John Cena and Vin Diesel. Like, this franchise has always been about family, and at this point, everyone has seen all of the memes about family. This movie took it to a whole new level of just stop. Come on. Stop, please. It was too much. It's kind of always been too much, but this time it really just quadrupled down on it being too much, and I wasn't big on that. I will say I'm glad that they recasted young people to be younger versions of these characters rather than de-aging them through CGI. So that's cool, but it's just so bland. As I've said before, physics don't exist. The stunts are just preposterous. And I only give it a pass because, again, it was self-aware, and so that's really the ugly. I think The Onion said it best, that since the fourth or fifth one, it really is. It's basically just like a 5-year-old has been writing it. The Onion is they interview this kid. It's I want the cars to go fast and go boom, something like that, and that's basically what this entire franchise is. This movie was fun. I know that, I've talked a lot about the bad and about the ugly. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of this franchise. So I'm sure there are those that are going to stick up for it. In fact, I'm the odd man out in my family. Most of them just absolutely love and adore everything about this franchise, and I just can't. It just bothers me. But again, that being said, this movie is self-aware. It's got good characters. It's well acted. I think that, again, Mia and Letty play really well off of each other. It was nice to see Han back, even if it felt cheap, because the stunts were so outlandish, but they did it in a meta way. I think it worked this time. For me, it's never worked before, but this time it was just it was almost like, I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead franchise because it's so campy, and I think that I haven't seen many action movies that just went for camp, and I think that's what I haven't been used to, and this movie just went all camp, and it worked for me. This movie is enjoyable. You should watch it. I'm not saying you have to. I think you should. I think it is a fun theatrical experience. What am I going to rate this movie? You know what? It's not a perfect movie. It is campy. It does hit a lot of the enjoyable notes for me. It's I've talked plenty about how it's not perfect, but it is more enjoyable than not. So I'm going to give this movie 3 cars out of 5. Guys, what did you think about this movie? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on my thoughts? I know that I am biased. I have my opinions, strongly opinionated at times. I want to hear your thoughts. And what else would you like to hear my thoughts on? What else would you like me to review? Even if it's for a B review, I will watch basically anything past or present and give my thoughts and let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So please hit me up in the comments, or you can reach out on our social media, facebook.com/BeHeroMedia, instagram.com/BeHeroMedia, of course on Twitter at BeHeroMedia, or our podcast handle, BeHeroFights, and BeHeroMedia.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We love you. If you could, it would be a big favor to us if you could just hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bells if you like this and you want more, and if you could just share with everyone that you know that might be entertained, that might be curious on whether they should watch it. If you think anyone might share similar sentiments as me, have a similar style or taste in movies as me, share this movie with them. And again, I want to hear from you. Hit me up. Thanks again for watching. As always, guys, be critical, but most importantly, enjoy the movies.